Hi guys, welcome back. So I've always wondered this, and I know I can't be the only one who's wondered, like, if you're making so much money from said business, say you're a forex trader, stock trader, or whatever you're doing, or you're practicing medicine, if you make so much money, why are you selling courses? Now, this isn't a dig at anyone who's selling courses. I mean, sales is a legitimate business, and I understand labor costs. Like, if you're teaching someone for 3 days and you're like, I'm charging 500 rands per day, I understand labor plus printing plus internet and food and venue and things like that. I understand that. What doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and I've wondered this a lot, and I'm sure you're not the only one. And what piqued my interest was when I was watching a video of this one guy who was flashing all these cars, claiming to be a forex trader. Maybe he is. And so this grandmother asked in the comment, because she was like, she seemed like an elderly woman from what she was saying, and she was like, I don't understand, like, why do we have to pay 7,000 for a day's course, yet there's no guarantee that we're going to be good at it, or there's no actual guarantee that we're going to actually make as much money as you, or what's the money for exactly? I don't understand. If you're making so much money from this, why are you making millions off of us? So it just got me thinking, what came first? Was it the millions from trading, or was it millions from the courses? And from just like talking to a lot of people on the side who I know who do like YouTube and Forex and things like that, they've actually said they make more money from courses and side hustles than actual trading. So I was just curious, and I'm like, so why don't you tell people that you make more money from selling the courses than actually trading? Because I also wondered, like, okay, if you're doing technical analysis on Sundays, you're teaching all week, right? You're helping those people during the week. When do you actually trade? And they were like, we actually don't trade live accounts. This is like no legit people for that I know are like literally, we have no reason to be trade. Maybe we'll trade once in a while when there's like a big news event, but most of the time we just sell courses. Anyways, I've always wanted to teach, so everything of mine you'll find on YouTube, on the internet for free. And there's an amazing book called The Millionaire Fast Lane. It's by MJ. What's his name? Sorry, I always forget his name. It's called The Millionaire's Fast Lane. Let me just see if I can pull it up. Downloads. And you can get it on a PDF drive if you're wondering where you can get it. Um, right, there we go. So it's called The Millionaire's Fast Lane by MJ DeMarco. MJ DeMarco. The Millionaire's Fast Lane by MJ DeMarco. And he points a very interesting point. He says that, and this is just looking at like people in business. He was looking at all the authors in business, like not all of them, but a lot of like the really wealthy authors who tell you about property, stocks, and entrepreneurship. And when Forbes, whatever it was assessing their wealth, they realized that they made tons of money from selling books and courses and seminars than the actual thing that they were promoting. So when they were promoting property, stock, whatever it was, stocks and property would actually account for 2 to 3% of their actual wealth. And so what he encourages in the Millionaire Fast Lane is he like shows you different businesses you can start and things like that. It's an amazing book if you want to get into entrepreneurship and wealth, actual wealth. And so he does point that out, and he was like, listen, be very careful that a lot of people will build their wealth off of you teaching you something than actually building it off the thing they're selling you. I hope you understand that. So they'll build their wealth off of teaching you something that they are not doing. That's very important. Yes, exactly. And another thing that I found interesting is there was a court case on another big trade in South Africa. And the way he got away with it was when he was asked by the judge about trading people's money and signals. And so he had a system where he wouldn't give signals, but he would trade people's money, right? I think you know who it is. He would trade people's money. And he was asked by the court, like, yo, you're running a scheme where you were trading people's money, and you're actually selling them courses and things like that. And he was like, I'm a salesman. Like, I sell courses. And the issue is that if you're going to be in financial services, you have to get licensing. And so the way he got around it was like, he was like, I'm selling a course. I'm a salesman. I'm not a trader. I'm a salesman. And I just hope that you know that a lot of them are like, I'm a salesman. So whether they're flashing 10 cars or 3 houses or whatever, remember, they are salesmen. And you'll find them in any industry. You'll find them in medicine, selling you whatever it is they're selling you, hair products or food, whatever it is. They're salespeople. They'll sell a product. If you have a good product, you sell it. It's that simple. You'll find them in medicine. You'll find them in IT. They'll sell you courses. They're salespeople. It's a legitimate business. Um, and like, yeah, this is another thing I actually realized is that they quit trading long ago, and it's easier to sell courses. It's easier to sell courses than like do the heavy lifting of like always keeping up to date with like the financial news, technical analysis, and all of that. So I just want you to be careful. I want to say that there's everything that you need is out there. Everything's online. I've spoken that you don't really need to buy a course unless you really want to. But I've seen people buy courses and signals before they've bought a laptop, and I just want you to be careful of that. Is there anything else? Yeah, just on that note, you'll never find a course like in university that teaches you how to trade or invest. And you'll see this on like, I watched Bill Ackman, the billionaire. He was being asked, like, how did you learn investing? And this is a guy who has an MBA. And he was like, listen, I just learned like everybody else. Like, I opened a small Fidelity, whatever the banks are called, $100 in it, and I'd invest the money, and then I'd lose and I'd learn a lesson. And I heard Bill, what's his name? Ray Dalio, yes, he said the same thing. It's like a 1 minute video where he's asked, how did you learn how to invest? And he's another MBA graduate who said, listen, I just started investing, I learned my lessons, and I just kept learning and trying. Like, if this doesn't work, okay, this doesn't work, lesson learned. Okay, let me try this doesn't work, lesson learned. As long as you're sticking to your risk and you're learning, that's essentially his advice. And another thing which just didn't make any sense to me was like, if their strategy is that good that it has to be bought for that much. Why don't they sell it to the big banks? They'd make billions if they sold it to the big banks. Why are they selling it to the average person who, by the way, like, trading isn't for everyone. Different personalities will match with trading, other personalities won't match with it. And the thing about like strategies and like Way of the Turtle, the book by Curtis Faith, he calls it system death. And it's this idea that when there's a strategy that works, traders hoard and like they run to that trading system and they all try to use it. And then once they all use it, it starts to fail, right? It's system death. It starts to die off because everyone's using it. And then even now the brokers know everyone's using it. They know how to manipulate the system because they know everyone's using it. Then once that's not working, everyone moves to the next strategy, and then the next strategy, and the next strategy, and the next strategy. So his advice is to just stick to your strategy. When it does face systems death, people will move on to the next system. Your system will start doing well again. And that's it, guys. Thanks.